Hello and welcome back to the Xbox Hut. This was my first step into the Halo series, but since all 4 games have been out such a long time, doing full-on reviews for each and every one would have been tedious, and probably more than you want to watch. You probably just want my thoughts on them, and that's exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get a 1 minute or less synopsis review of each one. Yeah, sure, I'll throw in some unrelated gameplay. I know I'm not a hot chick with big boobs for you to stare at. Being 11 years old, there's no denying some concepts do not stand the test of time in Halo. Not only is there a lot of backtracking, but also many protracted and repetitive fight sequences that are better dashed through than actually fought. Even some of the vehicle sequences felt more like they were trying to show off vast amounts of land and vehicle physics more so than have you do anything useful. Speaking of vehicles, I can't deny that the game keeps things fresh with vehicle variety, which later became a staple of the series. Of course, I also cannot deny that Halo did several things right. For one, they nailed the PC feel of old-school first-person shooters on a console, and that's a feat of its own. To add to that, they also nailed setting the mood and ambience, creating an atmosphere of tension when it mattered most. The first Halo, while dated, set the story of the Halo ring in place, and that's really all it needed to do. I give Halo Combat Evolved an 8 out of 10. Halo 2 definitely cranks up the series and unequivocally took bold new steps. The biggest reason is that it fleshes out the Covenant and creates a story that involves them more as an entity and not just alien bodies to shoot at. In this manner, Halo 2 turned the series into a truly story-driven first-person shooter, something also unprecedented in its time, and with clearly a very high budget. And I'm talking the original, not the Anniversary Edition. Additionally, the awesome change of perspective by giving you control of a Covenant character definitely did wonders to the grip the game had on my attention. Halo 2 delivered 2 storylines intertwined in a way that was well ahead of its time, and then added more personality to all of its characters, and began starting to reach the likes of a space opera. It also didn't forget its roots in vehicles, and they make their return, albeit an uninspired one. If it weren't for Halo 2, my interest in the series would have begun to die down, but instead, I was now intrigued to see what happened next. I give Halo 2 a 9.5 out of 10. Eager to jump into the next entry in the series, Halo 3 turns the growing space opera into a space epidemic, with the Flood flexing its infectious muscle. While Halo 3 plays it fairly safe, and its story being more of an extension rather than an expansion of the Halo universe, it adds a surprisingly fresh new level of vehicle variety, and also a healthy amount of landscape variety. The goal here wasn't to expand, it was to add detail to the series, and Halo 3 accomplishes exactly that. However, it doesn't accomplish much else, feeling a bit stale compared to what Halo 2 offered to me. Nonetheless, the solid production values remained engaging, and it kept me entertained without really doing anything particularly wrong. I give Halo 3 an 8.5 out of 10. The first thing I noticed was how good this game looked, and that was before it opened up and then wowed me. Halo 4 marks the first entry by 343 Industries, and boy does a pair of fresh eyes lend a lot of new perspective. It's more visceral than any entry before it, and yet manages to set a level of atmosphere and ambience only set once before in the first Halo. It then modernizes everything you know about Halo while still maintaining that old school feel. It then adds some of the coolest looking alien weaponry, all while not forgetting to expand the series with a fresh new enemy, an engaging storyline, and most of all, developing a real connection between Master Chief and Cortana. The only real flaw is that they didn't modernize the vehicles or their control schemes. But by the end of Halo 4, I was so drawn in that it almost brought a tear to my eye because the game is just filled with moments, story, and character development. People wrongfully marked this game down because of their love for Bungie, and in doing so blindly ignored the unabashed execution of the love 343 Industries demonstrated for what can only be considered the best Halo of the bunch. I give Halo 4 a 9.5 out of 10. I'll be honest, it wasn't until Halo 4 that my anticipation for Halo 5 became real. If it wasn't for 343 Industries picking up the torch, my interest from Halo 3 was a little lukewarm and more professional curiosity than anything else. Halo 4 touched me in a perverted gaming kind of way. It does what the Legend of Zelda series does for me, and now I cannot wait for Halo 5. That's it for today. Like my Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, and of course subscribe for more. I'll see you next time on the Xbox Hut.